Most search and rescue missions don't end with a mystery. They end with a person or with a recovery. This one ended with a memory card. We were looking for Park Ranger Samuels, who had missed 3 consecutive radio check-ins from the remote Deep Creek sector. The terrain was brutal, a jagged tapestry of ravines and dense pine where the light barely touched the ground. I was on the 5-day search team. We found no sign of Samuels, not a scrap of fabric, not a footprint. On the 4th day, near a creek that looked like every other creek, one of the guys spotted something metallic, half buried in the leaf litter. It was Samuel's issued GPS unit, smashed beyond function. And 3 feet away, under a rotten log, was his weatherproof trail camera, the kind rangers used to monitor wildlife. The red recording light was still blinking, a tiny, persistent eye in the gloom. We bagged it as evidence and called off the search that evening. Protocol said to hand everything over to the Forest Service investigators. But I was the tech guy on the team. And that blinking light, it got to me. That night, at the station, I told the lead investigator the camera was broken, that I'd tried to salvage the data. A lie. I took it home. The camera had a full 512 gigabytes card. The last file was a video, 12 hours long, starting at 8:04 p.m. on the night Samuels vanished. I fast-forwarded through the first few hours. Just blackness, the infrared giving everything a ghost green glow. The camera was fixed on a game trail, a narrow gap between 2 giant fir trees. At the 3-hour, 17-minute mark, Samuels walked into frame. He wasn't lost. He looked focused, determined. He was following something. He paused, shone his flashlight down at the ground, then looked directly into the camera lens. His face, in the IR light, was etched with pure fear. He mouthed 2 words, "It's her." Then he moved past the camera, leaving its view. For the next 8 hours, nothing. Then, at the 11-hour mark, something came back down the trail. But it wasn't Samuel's. It moved on all 4s, but its limbs were all wrong too long, jointed in places that made my own knees ache to watch. It was hairless, its skin the same ghost green in the IR, stretched tight over a skeletal frame. It had no face, just a smooth, bulbous dome where a head should be. It moved with a terrifying, skittering grace, stopping right where Samuel's had. It lowered that blank dome toward the ground, as if sniffing. Then slowly, it turned and looked directly at the camera. A slit opened in the smooth dome, a vertical gash that glistened. It wasn't a mouth. It was a sense organ. It knew the camera was there. It lunged. The video became a chaotic, screening blur of green and black, the sound of crunching plastic and tearing metal. Then, a final, stable image. The creature's torso, its slick skin, and a 3-fingered, clawed hand filling the lens. The video ended. I didn't sleep. At dawn, I drove straight to the lead investigator's house. I didn't care about the lie anymore. I showed him the video. His professional skepticism died in the first 10 seconds. We mobilized everything. Not a search party. A tactical unit. State wildlife, Forest Service law enforcement, even a liaison from the CDC. They didn't call it a search for a creature. They called it a hazardous biological containment operation. They went in with thermal drones, fluoroscopes, and orders that were shoot to kill. They found the cave on day 2. The entrance was a crack in a granite face, hidden by a waterfall, just beyond where we'd found the camera. It wasn't a natural cave. The walls were smooth, fused as if by tremendous heat. And inside, they found them. The remains, not just Samuel's, decades worth. Hikers, hunters, missing people from 3 different counties, all listed as believed to have succumbed to exposure. Their belongings were neatly stacked in niches. The creature was a collector. It attacked the team when they tried to extract the remains. The body cam footage from the laid officer is classified, but he told me over a whiskey weeks later that the lights from their rifles seemed to hurt it, to confuse it. They focused their high-powered lamps on it, cornered it in a chamber at the back of the cave, and put it down. He said it didn't scream. It made a sound like a radio losing all signal, a hollow, desperate static that just cut off. They incinerated the remains on site. The cave was collapsed with controlled explosives. The official report cites the discovery of a long-term, psychologically disturbed individual, Samuels, responsible for the historic disappearances, who then died in a remote area. The camera footage? Corrupted data. Unrecoverable. I have a different file on an encrypted drive. It's the only copy. Sometimes I watch it, not to the end, but to the part where Samuels looks into the lens. It's her. I think he'd been tracking it for years, calling it a her, in his mind to make it something he could understand. He was wrong. It wasn't a her or an it. It was a predator, an intelligent one. The forest is quiet now. The Deep Creek sector has been reclassified as a protected wildlife rehabilitation zone, closed to the public indefinitely. The missing persons cases are officially closed. Families have gotten bones to bury. We got an ending, not a good one, but a complete one. The horror isn't lingering in the woods anymore. It's just a 12-hour video on a drive in my safe. And a lesson. Sometimes the dark doesn't hold ghosts. It holds things that are much, much worse. And sometimes, if you're lucky and you have enough light, you can make the dark empty again.